Adam, you have a minute? Talking with Adam Cracknell here. We'll start with him. Adam, tonight you got a lot of playing time out there. I know that the plan wasn't that you'd have this many guys out of the lineup right now, but you guys did a good job in hanging for most of that game with what you had and finding a way to compete until that third period. What happened there in the third?
I think we just kind of ran out of gas. We're losing guys. We started making mental mistakes. We started cheating a little bit. We got down one and we started cheating even more, and that hurt us. So, it doesn't matter who's out of the lineup. We have to step up. There's a lot of opportunity for a lot of guys, and like you said, we played well the first two periods. We hung in there. We had good power plays, we had good movement and everything like that, and they capitalized on theirs, and unfortunately we just couldn't get the job done tonight.
Yeah, when you talk about opportunity, just in San Jose on the last road trip, we were talking about you finally getting a chance to get into a game, and now all of a sudden pulling some big minutes, and I know you appreciate that personally, but to have this many guys go down, it is a big challenge, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is, but that's what we want is opportunity, right? And you have to take advantage of it. There's a lot of guys out here playing more minutes than we're used to, so we want that, but you don't want to be PKing the whole time either. And when we're playing against good teams right now. We have to know that we're a good team. We just can't think who we have out of the lineup. We have guys here for a reason, so we just have to believe in each other and get back on the right track here.
And one thing about this game, the power play, I'm sure that's something you look back on, a lot of chances and not able to do as much with that, obviously, as you wanted to.
Oh, great chances. He made some saves. He wasn't even looking, and Hart's had a couple, and Johansson had a couple as well. So that game could have gone either way if we would have just buried a couple extra, but it didn't, and we just have to learn from it. And 3 in a row is unacceptable for the squad, and we know that, so we have to come out better on Friday.
Adam, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Adam Cracknell with us here in the dressing room tonight after the Blue Jackets fall to the Ottawa Senators here this evening. Let's take a look. Jared Bowl sitting at his stall here. I think I'd like to talk to Jared. It was a tough night for him, and I'm talking about a tough night in the fact that he fought a couple times. Let's hear from Jared right now.
We're not giving it right now. You have another Eastern Conference team, another Canadian team in Toronto coming in on Friday. Are you expecting the same type of game coming from them? They're in the same kind of boat.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got to come in pissed off. It's tough here to come out and give an effort like that at home. It stings. We got to come out and work our ass off and have a better outcome. It's tough, but we got a couple of days here to work and get better, and we'll be ready for Toronto.
Thanks a lot, Jared.
Yep.
Jared, tough night for you, and the fact that, tough meaning a couple of fights for you, especially early in this game. Were you surprised by either one of those?
No, I mean, it's a guy sticking up for his teammate, and then the other one, it's, he was kind of taking runs at Joe, and it's a way to set the tone, but it was tough. It's a tough game. I think we played well at parts, but they're a good team, and we let down for a little bit, and they got their chances, and they buried them.
But as you talked about, you are facing adversity with the guys you don't have in your lineup, but obviously from your demeanor here, you feel with the guys you had, you should have done better tonight. Should have been a bit of a better showing here.
Yeah, we got enough good players in this room to put a better effort in. Injuries are excuses. Every team has them, and no one in the league is going to feel sorry for you. So you can't feel sorry for yourself. We just got to come out Friday with a better 60-minute effort.
Thanks, Jared.
Yep.
Jared Bowl of the Blue Jackets here with us in the dressing room as we'll back out of that and see who else is hanging around here in the dressing room. It's a somber tone down here, and you can tell, and it's that combination between somber and obviously the frustration that Jared Bowl just showed in that interview right there, talking about the team's play here tonight and just the frustration of losing at home. This team has now dropped, 4 of the last 5 games, so they're a frustrated group in here tonight. We walk over here and see if we can duck in on this Dalton Prout and talk to him for a moment here.
Is it that simple, being outplayed?
I mean, I said this before, we just got off our game playing way too easily. And I think we have the bare bones of a system that should give us a fighting chance every night. And I know it can, and I believe in the guys in the room no matter who it is. But we got deterred from that way too easily tonight. And it would be nice that the guys out of lineup, sometimes they make an extra skill play that maybe save you on the power play or save you on a breakout. But you don't have that to rely on, so you have to be simple, smart, and stick to the game plan.
There were some nasty undercurrents at times kind of running throughout this game. Do you expect that more and more out of the Eastern Conference teams?
As the year goes on, points get harder and harder to come by. So I think the tenacity and the competition rises that much more all the way into playoffs. So that's what we expect. We expect a battle every night that we go on the ice, and we're never going to back down.
Is that adversity there too a little bit, and that nastiness because you just played these guys 11 days ago and you'd lost that game, so you were trying to set a tone. I guess you both were trying to set a tone here tonight.
Yeah, I think that's what gave us our good start, is that we felt like we owed them. We didn't come out with a good effort last time we played them, and wanting to rebound and come out with a better effort. I think that's what gave us our start, but we didn't continue that throughout the game.
When you talk about coming off your plan a little bit easier than you guys should have, is there anything that you can put your fingers on as a team as to why that happened here tonight?
It's a contribution of things. I think maybe trying to do too much, maybe get down a goal, maybe try and create some offense. Maybe you see a play, maybe you can cheat a little bit, to get the puck out of the zone. But simple, smart wasn't the way we finished, and we didn't prevail because of it.
Thanks, Dalton.
There's some short spurts.
Talking with Dalton Proud here in the Blue Jackets dressing room tonight as the Blue Jackets fall to the Ottawa Senators 5-2 the final in this game. Ottawa now has guaranteed themselves a win of the season series. Only 3 games between these two clubs, and they have won the first 2. The Blue Jackets will go back to Ottawa later in the season. Coming up, we'll hear from head coach Todd Richards. I'll also be joined by Jody Shelley, who will come in and give us his breakdown of tonight's game. The Blue Jackets lose 5-2 to the Ottawa Senators here at Nationwide Arena. You're listening to the Scioto Downs Columbus Blue Jackets Radio Network. Welcome back to the Tim Hortons postgame show here at BlueJackets.com and on the Scioto Downs Columbus Blue Jackets Radio Network. I'm Bob McElligott, joined by Jody Shelley right now. Let's get Jody's take on this game tonight, a 5-2 loss for the Blue Jackets against the Ottawa Senators. Jody, the players not happy after this game. They feel that they got off their game plan a little bit too easily here tonight. They weren't using injuries as an excuse, and you really wouldn't expect professional athletes to use that as an excuse. It is a factor in this game, though, for sure.
Well, let's go back to the beginning of this game. I thought that they came out just tremendously, exactly what their coaching staff wanted them to do. They took it to the Ottawa Senators. They out-hit them. They outshot them. They fought them. They did whatever they had to do to get engaged. First on the board, and then the Senators responded right away with Clark MacArthur tipping that puck in the slot past Curtis McElhaney. You know, the game was tit for tat a lot of the way, but it seemed like they ran out of gas. It seemed like that they just couldn't sustain it. They got away from their game a little bit. 5-minute penalty kill, they did a very good job on that. Just couldn't finish that off. And I just saw it from there, losing 3 players. Corey Trop was out, Wisniewski was out, Anisimov was out. Losing those guys, they just seemed so tired after that kill and just couldn't respond to the Senators by the end of the game.
Yeah, let's talk about that, and let's start with Artem Anisimov. I was thinking at one point during the game, thank goodness Artem Anisimov is still in this lineup, because with all the guys that are out, you still have that one, and this is not against Johansson, he's in there and he's fine, but you have that other big skilled defenseman who can make plays and is a dangerous threat every time that he has the puck on his stick, and all of a sudden with one Eric grab a hit, he's out of the game. And now you're really reaching for answers there, especially up the middle.
Well, yeah, up the middle, that's a great point. And you look at the leadership coming into this game tonight. When you lose a guy like Foligno and you got guys out of the lineup, Calvert's out, so Hartnell, Anisimov, Wisniewski, all these guys did a great job getting everyone up for the game tonight. Letestu. And to have a guy like Anisimov go off, it really changes the pace and the cadence of the bench, too. The lines get mixed up. There was only one line, I think, intact from the start of the game to the finish, maybe 2, with Hartnell, Johansson, and Atkinson. And then you had Cracknell with Trop and Bowl. I mean, they kind of patched it through. So that's a hard thing to do. And then have 5 defensemen have to rotate. It was a tall task, and I just thought that affected them in the end.
Yes, and remember, this team is, and this is not to make excuses, they just came back from California late Sunday night. They had the one day yesterday, and then they're right back at it today, which is why I was really impressed with the start that they had here tonight, because they had great energy at the start of this game. And as you said, though, I think that fourth goal, the one on that major power play, that was the backbreaker, because you're all of, 24, 34 seconds away from killing that whole thing off. And if you do, and you know you've been on the ice and on the bench for those situations, if you kill it off, the momentum is big time in your favor.
Yeah, you're right. And those guys were giving everything. The defensemen, Jack Johnson, Dalton Prout were battling out there. Wisniewski, Tootin. You know, there's just so much going on, and you really appreciate the work they put in. But they just couldn't get it done. And no, you're right. You go back to what you said earlier about the travel on the West Coast. Sometimes it takes the guys a while to get into the game. You don't think about the back end of the game falling off with that travel. You think that they get home and it's a slow start. But, boy, I tell you, they had no excuses tonight coming in. Learning this morning Bobrovsky was out. Excited for McElhaney and his opportunity. It looked like these guys were all business all the way, but Ottawa just overpowered them. And that Carlson, man, Carlson, MacArthur, and you mentioned those, we talked about them earlier in the day. They brought what they bring, and Clark MacArthur as quietly gets it done, and Carlson up the middle and transition on that goal where he fed it off to Turris, got it back, and then put it past McElhaney low. I think that was a 3-2 goal, and boy, that is something that he does so well. So got to hand it to them and their big guns. They showed up tonight, and Leonard, you can't go without talking about him. He made some huge saves early and kept the Ottawa Senators in position to do what they did and come back late and win the game.
Yeah, no question about that. And you talk about that goal that Carlson scored when it was 2-2, and that does make it 3-2. The Blue Jackets had just come up on an odd man rush right before that. Leonard makes a huge save, and the rebound pops off of him. A lot of times when the goalie gives up that long rebound, it's trouble for the goalie. This time it really turns out to be a pass right to his teammates, and they come back 3-on-1.
That was incredible. And it was almost like they had the confidence of a good goalie behind them, so that they knew when the shot was going by them backwards, they were jumping offense, and they took that, and Carlson led that up the ice with his speed. You're not catching him with your own head start, let alone give him a head start. So just that transition and that quick play off the goalie, that's right. That was a 4-on-2 for the Jackets that turned into a 3-on-2 and a goal for the Ottawa Senators.
Absolutely right. And, hey, go back and watch my CBJ and 30 show from earlier today. I said that I hope that Robin Leonard didn't play in this game. And I know Anderson's a good goalie too, but this kid, he scares me because he's feisty. And look at the way he played tonight. And the thing that he did really well, and this is the same thing he did 11 days ago, he would make that initial stop. There were not very many second and third opportunities for the Blue Jackets. They did not have him scrambling in the blue paint. They were not getting him off balance for the most part here tonight. And he turns in a good performance.
Well, I spoke with Luke Richardson this morning, and Luke had him in Binghamton, and he said he's a big goalie, but he's not a typical big goalie. He's very athletic. And you saw it tonight on that save on Hartnell, where he was turned around in the net, and he put his pad out there to stop the puck. And his dad is actually a goalie coach in Sweden and coached Henrik Lundqvist. You ever heard of that guy?
Yeah, once or twice.
So not only Rick Wamsley, who we've seen here before, Leonard's dad is a goalie coach
Who you
too.
giving more credit, Rick Wamsley?
Wamsley, of
Okay,
course.
yeah,
But, you know,
okay.
he's really developed into quite a goalie.
Yeah, and when Luke Richardson had him back in Binghamton, he was more of a hothead. He was more of you could get in his face, you could get him off his game, you could get him to make mistakes. You can see he's matured.
Well, yeah, he got ran over tonight and he didn't react.
No, absolutely.
And, so, yeah, the Jackets ran into another hot goalie in Leonard, and they saw him a little while ago.
All right, here's head coach Todd Richards to talk about tonight's 5-2 loss.
Todd, I know you don't want to make excuses, and I know you've been around for a while, but have you ever seen a wave of injuries to your top line players? I mean, you lose Anisimov tonight. You were without Bobrovsky. Have you ever seen a rash quite like this before in your days?
I have not. Whether I've done something or somebody's done something to the hockey gods, I have never seen anything like this. Seems like every time we play a game, somebody's getting hurt. At least that's what it feels like right now.
With some of these guys out, it looks like it's difficult to play the style that you have defined as your identity. Can you continue to try to play the way that you played last year with Dubinsky, with Jenner, with those guys in there, without those guys in, or is there something you can do to change things up to fit who's available?
We still want to play the same way. An aggressive, physical game. And I think we have the guys here, whether it's the guys out or whoever's in the lineup. We can play that way. What we have to recognize and just do a better job of is just our structure and playing within our structure. When your top guys, you're a lot of times there's a little bit more freedom because they have to go out and be able to play their game. They have to be able to go out and see a play and make a play. But right now, we just got to stick to our systematic play. Got to be sound in it, and we got to be good defenders.
Todd, with Bob out right now with a finger, planning on giving Forsberg any games, or are you going to stick with Curtis until Bob's ready to come back?
That's something we haven't discussed yet. I mean, the injury was yesterday, and we were focused on this game. We'll have to sit down and maybe map out a plan and see. But we haven't made any decisions yet.
Do you have an update on Anisimov and Wisniewski seemed to kind of go away there at the very end?
Wisniewski's got a broken finger. He'll be out 1 to 2 weeks is what we're thinking. Our doctor will look at him again tomorrow. Artie obviously took the hit, and he'll get re-examined tomorrow by your doctor.
Did Anisimov go through league concussion protocols? I mean, it was obviously a blow to the head. So,
I believe he did, yes.
Were you happy with what you got at Cam Atkinson, his first game back in the lineup, and also Ryan Murray, his second game back in the lineup, how he was adjusting?
I thought we played to me it wasn't a 5-2 loss game. I liked the way we played our first period. We kill off just about the whole 5-minute power play, give up a late goal. And then the fifth goal is just a bouncer that bounces over Ryan's stick and ends up right on their stick. You come up, my theme was I thought we played hard. I thought we got back to our systematic play and everyone doing it. You come out disappointed, losing 5-2, but again, your thoughts through the process of the game were positive. We just got a disappointing result, but answering your question about Cam, and Cam makes plays, and I saw his quickness and speed again, and Ryan has the ability to calm things down and make a good first pass, and that's what they did that tonight.
Now having dropped 3 games in a row, what's the mentality in the locker room like?
Well, everyone's disappointed. Everybody's, the expectations is to win every night. So when you don't get that expectation, when you don't get that result, I'm sorry, because of that expectation, it's disappointing. It's deflating, especially when you play a hard game. And again, I thought our guys played hard. Bounce here or there, we might be up 1-2 goals. Instead, it's the other way. I mean, 2-2 game, we have a great opportunity at one end. Don't convert. They turn around, come right back, and it's in the back of our net. And now we're chasing. And 5-minute power play, and now you're down 2. When it felt like, for a good part of the game, that you were the team that was dictating. And thanks.
So there's head coach Todd Richards. As he said, it seems like every time his team plays a game, he loses another player. Tonight it's James Wisniewski, broken finger, and expecting him to be out 1 to 2 weeks. And this comes on the very same day that it was announced that Sergei Bobrovsky has a fractured finger and is going to be out 1 to 2 weeks. So the news doesn't get any better any quicker for the Blue Jackets. They just have to hope that here over the course of the next 48 hours, maybe they can at least get one guy back into the lineup by Friday night when the Toronto Maple Leafs get here to play at 7 o'clock. That'll do it for our coverage at BlueJackets.com, but stay tuned because the Tim Hortons postgame show continues on the Scioto Downs Columbus Blue Jackets Radio Network.